Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and at long last, we finally have the patch notes for Title Update 20.2 for the Division 2. Now this thing has been long awaited. The fixes that are slated for it have been listed on the known issues board for weeks now. I want to say we thought, at least I thought, it was going to come like 2 weeks ago, then last week, but tomorrow, March 19th, we are finally getting it. And so, this morning we have the patch notes detailing everything coming in the update to go over. We got a bunch of stuff for Descent, for cosmetic things, for tinkering. There's a lot to go over, so we're going to get right to it. And if you want to stay up to date on the latest with the Division 2, then be sure to click that subscribe button. I will keep you informed. Let's jump in. Alright, so here are the patch notes right here. Keep in mind there will be a maintenance to deploy this tonight. They have not tweeted yet about it, but assume around the usual time that they do the maintenance is. And then 20.2 will be live as soon as that is done tomorrow morning. But let's jump right in, shall we, to 20.2 patch notes. Starting off with the manhunt, they fixed the issue with the progression meter for the prime target displaying incorrectly after playing in co-op. Hopefully this is a preventative step to not allow what happened with last season and previous seasons to happen at the end of this season where people are unable to access the prime mission. I hope that that's basically what that is saying. They also fixed an issue causing the mana percentage to not update accurately when accessing the map. I think this is what the majority of people have ran into, myself included, where even though we've done the first two targets, it says you're at like 43, 45, 47%, so hopefully this fixes that all up. They added missing voice lines for a few characters at the castle. They also fixed an issue with the Season 11 climax mission that allowed the fences to be jumped, preventing the objective from updating. Alright, then we got a bunch of stuff here under tinkering. I'm going to go through, I think, most of them because they seem pretty important. So they fixed the issue that hindered optimization of the first incoming repair attribute on the Catharsis. This is a big one for many. They fixed the issue that hindered optimization of damage to armor on the Capacitor. This was one that we weren't quite sure what they were going to do with it because I don't believe that stat is meant to be in that slot anyway, but it seems like they're not going to flip it around. Rather, they are hopefully, at least from the wording of this, just going to allow people to fully optimize that stat up, even though you can't save it past that capacity in the library. So we'll wait until tomorrow to get full confirmation, but it seems like you will now be able to optimize that DTA value all the way up. And I guess I addressed that here a little bit. They fixed the issue that hindered optimization of the attribute of exotic weapons if it's a weapon type specific core attribute. So I think that would fall under what the capacitor had, and so hopefully in the future that prevents that kind of stuff from happening. Exotic items can now be optimized to maximum values by default without the need to extract attributes beforehand. There we go. I should do my reading in advance, but yes, that is also plays into the same thing, so we shouldn't see that issue in the future. They also fixed an issue where the progress bar would incorrectly display the arrow for a lower value when optimizing exotics if the player had extracted the attribute in the library with a lower value than the minimum. So that's a lot of words. Basically, they're just saying they're fixing up some unintended interactions within the whole tinkering system since they changed the capacity you need in your library to optimize all that stuff. They added missing localization files for various elements in the tinkering menu, added missing audio feedback when pressing M for tinkering. I believe that's when you're in your inventory. And they fixed an issue with a menu crash when two items of the same type are equipped and the tinkering tab is opened in the tinkering station. Alright, solid stuff across the board there. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be very happy about the capacitor fix and all of those related things, so that's pretty good. Moving on to Descent. Fixed the issue with the strained talent appearing twice in the Wrath talent pool. To prevent the Vindicator rifle purchase from the NSA store to retain the same attributes and values as those initially displayed, its stats will now be re-rolled in the store every 24 hours. So that's an interesting change, and then if you wanted to kind of wait for like a god roll Vindicator, you could just keep checking the store once per day, see if it gets those rolls that you want. I think that's cool enough. They fixed an issue with the Black Friday named LMG blueprint not dropping from reconstructed caches, and lastly, they fixed an issue that resulted in not receiving any collectibles upon completing the weekly project. That was a big one that a ton of people continued asking about. It has been bugged since the season began, so nobody has been getting any new Descent comms, but that will change with the implementation of TU 20.2 tomorrow, and that'll be nice to get back into collecting those once per week. Alright, they then fixed an issue that allowed the complete any stronghold mission on hard or higher difficulty objective in the weekly DC project to be completed by undertaking any mission on hard difficulty, so they made that one objective within the weekly project easier. Under Vanity, they resolved an issue of receiving a placeholder backpack trophy instead of the hot dog trophy when opening the case at the National Bond Armory. I believe that is the classified assignment. This one's neat. Added a new feature enabling in-game characters with longer hair to visibly retain their hairstyles while wearing bandanas, hats, or helmets. That's actually kind of cool. I feel like that's something I've seen a lot of people complain about over time, is that as soon as you put on a baseball cap, it almost looks like your character is bald underneath there, like their hair just disappears. So I'm definitely interested to see what that means, what that'll look like. That's cool. And then they fixed multiple clipping issues, they say, with all of these following items. If I can highlight here, the sewer rat, uniform, gloves and backpack, dagger shirt, handle boots, leopard love boots, red panda shirt, and the rig eyewear. Moving on, under UI, we have various store updates. Resolved an issue of missing thumbnails when confirming a purchase for any hats, glasses, scarves, mask, or shoes from the store. This one's pretty cool because a lot of people have asked about it, or it's not cool, but it's interesting. Remove the arm patches category from the crafting station until next time. I have been getting endless questions about why is the arm patch category there in the crafting station if we can't actually use it. The answer is we don't know. They had never spoken about it until this thing right here where they say until next time. So there's theories going around that this is going to be the new wearable item type that gives you stats with the endgame revamp later in 2024. Maybe this hints at that. Maybe it means that there's going to be other patches to craft in the future. I don't know, but clearly it's going to make a return at some point. So I'm interested to see what that's going to be. All right, they updated some icons for global events, updated the description of the polyethylene plating talent from the Aegis backpack to show the correct values. I believe that one was saying 1%, so it now should say the correct 4. And they updated the description of the behind you talent to clearly indicate that it does not work against other players. That's definitely a good thing for clarity's sake. All right, gear, weapons, and talents. Fixed the issue with Thunderstrike being missing from the talent library. They reverted the Doctor home instead of just granting the armor kit on headshot. You have to get a kill, which was what the intended interaction was. They fixed an issue with the collector exotic chest not being purchasable at Anaya after obtaining it in exotic caches of the loot pool. They also did the same thing with the iron lung. They fixed an issue with focus not working as intended when using the Vindicator exotic rifle. That's actually nice. That's going to be a solid buff because I know a lot of people wanted to use focus with the Vindicator, so that should be fun to test out. And they fixed the issue where the pummel talent would remain in either enabled or disabled state after equipped, or I can't read this, after equipping or switching to another weapon with the same talent. So hopefully that fixes all that up. In Countdown, they fixed an issue where the Countdown requisition station unlocked after completing the tutorial. PvP, 2 quick ones here. They updated the 4-piece description for Aegis as well as the Mosquito exotic talent. I assume that this just means they say they don't work in PvP because they don't. So hopefully that correctly, tells players that you don't need to use this weapon in PvP because it has no function. Global events, they fixed the issue with the challenges tracking UI missing for all global events, and then under other we have a bunch here, including empty screens and infinite loading when trying to load characters on consoles. This one's important, fixed the issue with the manic blueprint popping up when you deconstructed a skill mod. I got a lot of questions about that. That was not intended. You don't actually earn the blueprint. It was just a weird visual thing, but that's now fixed up. This one's also nice. They fixed the issue that prohibited changing loadouts at the shooting range. That'll be very positive for testing purposes, not to have to run back and forth. Here's a nice one. They fixed the issue that caused random open world rogue encounters to spawn with story difficulty stats, so those should be properly scaled up now. And they fixed the issue with Danny Weaver, who is the new textile vendor, his shop restocking twice a week. Hopefully it's now just aligned with the proper Tuesday reset like all other vendors like Cassie Mendoza. I feel like that would make the most sense, but we'll see once it goes live tomorrow. So there you have it, folks. A bunch of stuff coming into 20.2 tomorrow, which makes sense given it's been like a month since we got our last title update. So this will be very nice. I think a lot of people are going to find something in here that they're happy about, whether it's the capacitor, whether it's being able to get the collectibles within Descent again. This new feature with the hair stuff is cool. And yeah, across the board, seems like some pretty solid changes coming to the game tomorrow, again on Tuesday, March 19th. So let me know any and everything that you're thinking about this update. What are you most looking forward to? Do you have any further questions about what we're getting? And what do you think about the this one right here, the arm patches? What do you think that's... Oh, there we go. What do you think that's going to end up being? I'm definitely curious to find out. Hopefully, Year 6, Season 1 or 2, somewhere in there we'll get it. But that's a nice little tease that they threw into these patch notes. Anyways, folks, I'm going to cut it off here. Thank you all so much for checking out the video. I appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next one. Until then, RogueGold. Out.